Everyone who bought Bitcoin is feeling the rush of the roller coaster going straight up to the moon. The moon is in our eye and it's getting bigger and bigger. And the market cap of Bitcoin is now so big that it's begun to eclipse that of PayPal. So how does Bitcoin's and PayPal market cap compare to Visa and MasterCard? What are the chances that Bitcoin is going to dip before it breaks 5,000? And how many all-time highs does it take to get to the center of the mainstream conscious mindset? Let's discuss. Hey everybody, I'm Gary Palmer Jr., you're you, and together, welcome to Minting Coins. So it is just a very, very exciting day on top of a very, very exciting weekend, on top of a very, very exciting last Thursday and Friday. You know, we were flirting with that $4,000 mark, and we were solidly above it as of Sunday, I believe it was. And so here we are well into Monday night, and the price is not just above that $4,000 mark, but the price is shooting into the $42, $43, probably going to touch upon the $4,400 mark, which is just so exciting. It's just such good energy. As far as exciting as it is, it's also really scary because what goes up sometimes must come down, even if it is defying the laws of gravity. There's definitely that wave in the roller coaster on the rocket ship to the moon. So we're definitely keeping an eye on that. And you must be experiencing that level of excitement as well. Well, thanks for showing up. We're going to be going over a bunch of this information. I just want to say thank you for the donations. Received some donation in Ether. Very, very, very much appreciate that. Helps keep us independent, keep this show going, as does every time you like this video or subscribe if you're new to the channel. But with that being said, let's just get right into it. Let's jump into the market. Let's look into what's going on and see how this market cap of Bitcoin is getting so large, how it's affecting in with the rest of the world, what's happening, and let's discuss. Okay, so starting over here at coinmarketcap.com, this is just amazing, blowing my mind that our total market cap is over $141 billion. Just an unbelievable amount of money when you look at where we were just a couple, there we go, where we were just a couple days ago. And so with this $141 billion, the 24-hour volume is over $5 billion. And so again, that's, I would say, higher than we usually see. This is a lot more money. I'd say about $1 billion, $1.5 billion more than we usually see into the cryptocurrency market. And Bitcoin really sucking over its dominance again, over that 50% mark, 51.8% Bitcoin BTC dominance. It looks very, very healthy to me. Everything looks very, very strong right now. This is definitely a bull run. This is definitely an exciting time. There's definitely a lot of money undeniably entering into the crypto space. And so looking down at Bitcoin, this is just amazing. We have the market cap of Bitcoin alone at almost 52% dominance. Bitcoin alone is $73 billion, and this current price is being listed as $4,423. Looks like a very pretty number, if I ever did see a pretty number myself. And circulating supply, we officially broke that 16.5 million Bitcoins in existence. So if anyone wants to know how many Bitcoins are currently circulating, it's 16.5 million. It's not that many. Everybody can't have one. If you have any amount of Bitcoin, then you are in the 1% of the world. And if you have one whole Bitcoin, then in a lot of ways, I think you can consider yourself part of the 1% of cryptocurrency. And so where's all this money going? When we look at the 24-hour volume, we just see Bitcoin, again, is dominating. A lot of this money is really flowing into Bitcoin. We have the SegWit activation weeks away from being completely activated and for SegWit blocks to be transacted upon. And I think that between all the news, all the excitement that we're going to be talking about in this video and the other videos that we're going to be shooting today, we just see all this money going into Bitcoin because big things are happening, big things are in the works, and not just you and I know about it, but a lot of other people are starting to pay attention. People are hearing about this on CNBC. They're reading about it on major magazines, are starting to scratch the surface and mention the word Bitcoin. It's not just being talked about in terms of the HBO ransomware and the hacking and all that sort of jazz. So looking at all these numbers here at the top 10, we see that there is a lot of red. There's a lot of red. In terms of US dollars, BitConnect is up, Monero is up, IOTA is up, and Bitcoin BTC is up. But also, instead of just looking at these in terms of USD, we're also looking at them in terms of Bitcoin. And so when we look at these in terms of Bitcoin, when we look at Ethereum, for example, we see that Ether in terms of USD has decreased 2.69% in terms of the USD. But in terms of its value compared to Bitcoin, the value is down 10.26%. So it's down much more compared to Bitcoin than it is USD. And so you just have to realize that whenever you're trading in any alternative currency, there's always the USD price and the anchor price for you to sort of consider. And so if your goal is to gain as much Ethereum as possible, you want to anchor all your prices in Ethereum. And if your goal is to obtain as much Bitcoin as possible, then as the industry already does, you want to anchor all of your decisions against what the Bitcoin price is, not what the USD, the US dollar price is. So with Ethereum, we see it's $295 right now. And in terms of Bitcoin, it is 0.067 Bitcoin. And where Ethereum was in terms of its value in Bitcoin just a few weeks ago, what were we? Just maybe a month or two ago now, the value of Ethereum was 0.1. It was 0.12. And so it's about half of where it actually was. And so if in the USD, the Bitcoin is $295, but in terms of the value Bitcoin, it's half of where it was, that just tells me that relationally, Ethereum, I'm expecting to see Ethereum pop as high as $600 to stick with that proportion to Bitcoin, especially as some of this news breaks and then people start pumping into Ethereum. We're definitely going to see a decrease in Bitcoin, but relatively speaking, with these new all-time highs in Bitcoin, we're not going to see Bitcoin go much lower. It goes up, it goes down, it goes up, it goes down, but overall Bitcoin is going up, and with that, the whole market is going up with it. So it's going to be very interesting to watch it as it keeps on going. And so where are we? So with the Bitcoin market cap in terms of the US dollars, back to the US dollars, we're at $73 billion as of right now. And so popping over to ycharts.com and taking a look at the PayPal Holdings market cap, the current market cap for PayPal is $70.86 billion as of August 14th. Over down here in the market cap range over the past 5 years, the maximum that the Bitcoin market cap has ever been in the past 5 years. Am I in the way over here? I am in the way. As you can see right here is $72 billion. So this is the maximum that's been in 5 years. It actually just happened July 27th. And so the market cap of Bitcoin at $73 billion is not only higher than where the PayPal market cap is right now, but it's higher than where the PayPal market cap has ever been in the past 5 years. PayPal is this major financial company worth all of this money, almost $71 billion. And now Bitcoin, the decentralized technology, without even counting the infrastructure of all the other companies that are supporting Bitcoin and are part of the Bitcoin ecosystem, Bitcoin alone as a digital asset, its market cap alone is more than PayPal. And so over here, moving my head over, we see, should make this a little bit bigger. Yeah, there we go. Oh, that works. So over here we see the benchmarks compared to other companies that are similar to PayPal. And so on this list at ycharts.com, we have MasterCard, Visa, and Bank of America. And so MasterCard is the next closest in this list, and that's 139 billion, almost 140 billion, rounded up. And that 140 billion is less than, halfway there. So another $73 billion, doubling this current Bitcoin value, and then Bitcoin will be having a market cap that meets or exceeds that of MasterCard. And then you do another 73 billion on top of that, and then that hits the market cap of Visa. So right now, you can break this up into thirds. $70 billion is where Bitcoin and PayPal is. You had another $70 billion, that's where MasterCard is. And you had another $70 billion after that, that's where Visa is. That's a trajectory of where this is going. And these are the comparative metrics with other financial service companies, technologies, systems that are comparable to what Bitcoin is seeking to do in the world. Very, very interesting stuff. Now, it may not seem like a big deal to a lot of people, but you got to consider the fact that, Bitcoin's only been around since, 2010? And it started off with, practically being worthless. And, people think, most people think Bitcoin is crazy now. Even more people thought Bitcoin was crazy then. And so for it to go from nothing into an asset, a decentralized asset that's worth that of PayPal and half of MasterCard and a third of Visa is just mind-blowing. And recognizing that with the limited number of Bitcoins that exist, how there's only 16.5 million of them right now, and we're never going to have more than 21 million Bitcoins ever exist, everybody can't have one, and its value per Bitcoin we can expect to increase. So here we are with this value of Bitcoin, $4,400, and we've been watching this rise. If you look at the 7-day graph, pretty steadily. It hit this sort of high point right here a day or two ago, and then sort of dropped a little bit, and then just picked right back up and started increasing again. And so there's this warning that has been alarming inside myself, and then there was this Reddit post that helped articulate some of what I wanted to bring your attention to if you're new to the cryptocurrency space, or if you know people who are new to the cryptocurrency space, that a lot of people are going to lose money. And I was just talking with someone today that was just talking, about how they were not a believer in Bitcoin, and now Bitcoin is at all-time highs. Now people are going to lose money, and he's absolutely right. People are going to lose money with Bitcoin every time it reaches these all-time highs, because people are going to purchase Bitcoin when it reaches the all-time high, because people buy when it's in the news, they buy when they hear about it. They're not necessarily proactively learning about this information, or they're not necessarily hearing about this information first from someone that they know. So when they hear about Bitcoin reaching all-time highs, well, then they buy it, right? Because then it's in the top of their mind after everyone else has bought it. And then what happens is that everyone that had then bought it previously wants to take some profits, because a large percentage of the people who are buying and selling Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies are traders, and they're seeking, they're not thinking about the long-term strategy of Bitcoin mooning and hitting $10,000 or $100,000, or mooning and hitting $1 million. They're just looking to make a few hundred here and a few hundred there, and if they make a few $1,000s one day, then that's just great. And so when the noobs are coming in, and they're purchasing high, and then the price drops. Well, when that price drops, new people, well, they purchased high, they see the price go down hundreds, if not thousands of dollars, and when that price drops thousands of dollars, if they have the will, if they have the determination, if they have the outlook of investing, and to take that money and to put it into something, this is not investment advice, this is people making their own decisions, but if you make that decision to invest into something, then you're not worried about the price going up and down. You're dollar cost averaging into it, and so it doesn't matter if you're purchasing at a high point or a low point, because long term it's going to be much higher overall, right? And so looking at this post, just going over this specifically, it's just mentioning that the profit taking, as I was saying a second ago, and a correction, it is very likely going to come. It's could be very steep, it could be very fast, or it could be gradual. And retraction, the protraction is pretty much expected by everybody, and we see analysis coming out. We don't have it pulled up right here, but analysis that's expecting the price to drop down and crash as low as what, $2,800, which is just still significant above where it was, and in comparison to where we are. So as I was just saying, noobs are going to buy at this price, watch the asset tumble, and then sell when it's near a bottom. Then they're going to have a huge loss, and then the price of Bitcoin goes back up. I think we've talked about this in a few other videos. We just know this is going to happen. Don't let this be you. So please have caution. Please be careful about buying at the all-time highs. And if you are buying at all-time highs, then just consider dollar cost averaging. So not only are you buying at the all-time highs, but you're also buying in the mediums, and you're also buying at the lows, and you're buying all the way down, and you're buying all the way up. And so overall, through time, you'll get the best price because you'll be purchasing the same amount on average. Cool. So last but not least, turning into the news, just wanted to mention that there's the Twitter CEO Jack Dorsey. And so Jack Dorsey is claiming that Bitcoin and blockchain technology are the next big unlock. And the next big unlock is just terminology. It's not something that I'm very familiar with, but just putting out there that the Bitcoin and blockchain technology is just going to be the next, the technology that allows industries to reach the next level. And the fact that this is going to be not only applied to so much more beyond just finance and money, but that this is just going to be a game changer in terms of what it's going to do for efficiency and all sorts of efficiency and productivity for these corporations. And so real quick, let's see, several finance and technology experts at the gathering defined blockchain as a ledger that allows for secure and encrypted transactions. And the quote here from Jack Dorsey: I think there are going to be a bunch of people who say blockchain technology, let's go apply it everywhere, every single problem, in the same way that we try to solve every single problem with machine learning and data science. And so he goes on to say, I think that we need to be more thoughtful when what people are struggling with, and how does this technology help them to progress, or does it distract them? So at the same time that he's saying that blockchain technology is a game changer, he's also recommending that we be very careful how we apply it, because this is not a tool that blockchain technology is not the right solution for every problem that we have. And so, everyone wants to use blockchain technology, and we have all these different altcoins. And when we look at the market cap, we see that the market cap of most of these other alternative currencies are decreasing in value as Bitcoin is gaining dominance. And over time, we are just not closer to the flippening happening, and Bitcoin is just essentially bigger and stronger than it's ever been. And so Dorsey goes on to claim here that he has a personal investment in the digital currency, and also that his company is already accepting Bitcoin as a form of payment. And so again, Jack Dorsey's two companies, one is Twitter, which you may have heard, and the other is Square. which you may have heard. And so here real quick, here's the sellercommunity.com for Square, and it says the Square register support for Bitcoin ? And so this one user says that the Square register for this person's restaurant, and a few customers have asked if they can accept Bitcoin. So he uses Square register for his restaurant. He's trying to figure out if the register supports Bitcoin. So I'm not sure if you know anyone that uses Square, or if you know anyone that uses a POS system that accepts Bitcoin. I'd be interested to know if you know any businesses that accept Bitcoin directly through their point of sale system, and is that Square or is that a different point of sale system? It'd be interesting to see what anyone's personal insights are as far as that goes. But with all that being said, it's really interesting just to look at the market. It's really interesting just to understand the how much money is going into the cryptoverse. It's interesting to see how much money is being traded overall in the 24-hour time period, and how much of that is focused on Bitcoin versus some of the other currencies in the top 10. It's also great to understand where we are in terms of the Bitcoin dominance, so we can sort of have a pulse to see if Bitcoin has that inflation or if it has that deflation, with a lot of that value really being pushed to the alternative currencies. Right now, there's just a lot of excitement going on. There's a lot happening with Bitcoin behind the scenes. Not only is there the SegWit implementation, which everyone is very, very excited about, as you're probably aware of, no matter which your opinion may be about SegWit itself, there's definitely a palpable interest and desire in the world to see what it is that SegWit can do, and to see how it is it's going to affect the world. But then we also have this really, really exciting news coming out of Blockstream in terms of what they're going to be doing with connecting the world and connecting Bitcoin with the world, and just making a much greater impact and increasing the penetration that this technology has to allow every single person in the world to have this peer-to-peer electronic trust, this peer-to-peer electronic communication. And if you're listening to this video, then you are a part of this excitement. You are part of what is going on. And if you're a part of this excitement, if you're a part of what's going on and you don't own any Bitcoin yet, then I'm just wondering, what's holding you back? What's stopping you? What's preventing it from happening? I really want to know. So with that being said, we have some more videos coming on the way, so stay tuned for those. We're going to put all these together and package them into a playlist. It's let me know what you think about that and about that process, and feel free to comment below. Let me know what you think about what's going on. I love to hear your thoughts. Love to get that conversation going. Tap that like button, subscribe if you haven't subscribed already, and stay tuned because we have a whole lot more on the way. So with that being said, thanks for showing up, and I'm glad that together we're minting coins.